Hello and welcome. Today we're doing something kind of stupid. We're going to rank every League of Legends champion currently in the game, so Samira will not be included, based on how cool I think they look. This is not based on their powers. This is not based on their kits. This is not based on how strong they are or how much fun I personally have playing with them. This is just based on how cool I think they are. So, this is going to take a while, and it's going to be pretty dumb, but I think we're going to have some fun, and the green screen's falling, and it just knocked something over. But, we're gonna keep at it anyway, and it's going to be great. So, stick around and see where your favorites rank, I suppose. First off, we have Aatrox. I've never played Aatrox, but he looks pretty cool. I have all the champions up on another monitor here where I can see how cool they look. He looks pretty cool. After I've played every champion, I'll probably come back and do this again for their kits. But, yeah, we're not going to count skins either because I feel like that would be cheating. Some people just have better skins than others. But he looks pretty cool. I dig the, big sword. He looks like, let me see his ult here to see if that sword comes into it at all. Um, oh, wow. Yeah, he's very demonic. That's pretty interesting. He's kind of cool. I'm gonna put Aatrox in an A. I think A for Aatrox. I think that's where he's gonna land. I think he looks cool. Our tiers are, of course, triple S, S, A, B, C, D, and uncool. Uncool being the lowest possible rank that you could get, in that I don't think you're cool at all. Next up is Ari, who I think is pretty cool. I really like the Kitsune style character design for her. The tails are really cool. The way they flow around as she moves. I've played her twice, I think, maybe 3 times. She's pretty cool. I think they could have done a little bit more with the colors. I don't feel like her color kit really goes well together. I think the red of her outfit, if maybe, I don't know, it just feels like she needed a little bit more of that red somewhere. I mean, the fingernails have it, so maybe if you could see that red a little bit more in game, I think it would work better. But the red is really underplayed in game. So it just feels like an odd choice when, her hair is that dark black. They could have gone with something like that. Or her magic is that light blue. So you could have gone with something like that. Skins, of course, fix this problem. But we're going to put Ari in A as well. I think Ari looks pretty cool. Next up is Akali. Akali, I think, looks really cool. I think the tattoo really sells the tough rogue assassin Akali look. I think that her sickles, her kama look really cool. I think that her hair is actually really interesting. The way that it's not just in a ponytail, it's up and as if it's ready to attack you on its own, which I think is really cool. It does some really interesting things while she jumps around and moves. I think Akali really sells the idea of the ninja and looks really cool doing it. Akali's gonna go in S. Next up is Alistair. Alistair is a bull man. That's kind of it. And I hate to sound so reductive with it, but that's sort of it. He's just a bull man. He's a minotaur. I think he's fun to play. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a blast to play. But I don't think he looks that cool. So we're gonna put him in D. I'm sorry, Alistair. After that is a Mumu. A Mumu. A Mumu looks pretty cool. A Mumu is like the sad mummy, right? And I think his kit sells that really well. But we're not gauging on kits here. We're just gauging on cool factor. Just based on the look, I think that Amumu as the sad mummy sells it pretty well. Even down to his walk animation, where it's just he's trudging forward with his head. He looks really nice. We're gonna put him in A as well. After that is Anivia, and I mean Anivia looks really cool, right? She's ice themed. No, I mean, I think Anivia does look pretty cool, though. She's the Cryo Phoenix. She's a Blizzardi. She's made of ice. And I think that it's really well done. I think in a lot of ways it could have just been a bullman like Alistair, but the art that they use and then the actual, the way that you can make out the different parts of ice as if it were the pinions on her wings, I think it's really cool. So we're going to put her in A as well. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people at A. But we're going to get to some that definitely go up to triple S because I think they look really cool. Next up is Annie. Annie, I'm gonna add Tibbers to Annie because they go together. I think that Annie herself is not that cool. I mean, she's just a kid, right? But Tibbers is pretty cool. So we're gonna put Annie in B because I think that's a good split for that. Because I don't think Annie looks that cool, but I do think Tibbers looks pretty cool. Next up is Aphelios, and I feel like Aphelios' design is almost trying too hard. Like it's almost trying too hard, but he looks pretty cool. I think the coat helps a lot. Um, the guns and like the spectral form of his sister is pretty cool. I think that it works together in a way that it probably shouldn't for how edgy he is. But I think he's pretty cool. We're gonna put him in S. All of these are subject to change by the time we get to the end. We're not even done with the A's yet. There's like 150 champions. We're gonna be here for a while. Ash is next. Ash, I think, is pretty cool. She's an early champ, which means that her design is kind of, Zeke, buddy, you gotta stop with the green screen, pal. You gotta stop knocking over the green screen. Ash is pretty cool. I think she's kind of basic, right? That was the thing for early champions in League of Legends. They were pretty basic. We're just gonna keep fighting with this, I guess. Yeah, I think her design is a little basic, like a lot of the early champions were. But we're gonna put her in a B. I think that the cape helps a lot, and I think that the like bow made of ice is a nice distinction from the rest of her kit. But I might move her down to a C. Honestly, we're gonna put her in C. I think that she's just fine, right? She's not super cool, but she's not uncool. Alistair got really close to being uncool. Minotaurs are always slightly cool, so he can't be uncool, but he got close. Aurelian Soul. So when we talk about like aesthetics, right, and what I think is cool, a space dragon made out of the universe himself is that's really dang cool. In fact, that's what we're gonna rename this category. Really dang cool. Aurelian Soul is really dang cool. So, I mean, even when you like playing as him is weird, and I like it, but it's weird. But the stars that travel around him, his body is made out of space. He's just really dang cool, man. Following up Aurelian Soul is Azir. Azir is also really cool. He might even be really dang cool. He's like this Egyptian themed emperor, and he controls sand, and he summons sand soldiers. His armor looks sick. His helmet looks sick. His spear looks sick. He's got the banners like flying off of him. Yeah, I think we're gonna put him in really dang cool. Honestly, I didn't think we'd have two in really dang cool this early on, but here we are. Following up Azir is Bard, character that I've never played as, but Bard looks pretty cool. I really like his mask. I like the like power of the cosmos that is in his hands. The little guys around him are really cool. And I think that like the huge beard on his actual character model is really interesting. I like the one horn too. And he's an alien? Like, yeah, he's really cool. Bard's really cool. Next up is Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is another one of the really early champions. So he's kind of just a robot man. But here's the thing. He's a robot man with a rocket punch. So he's already pretty cool. And then he's a robot man. So he's really cool. Blitzcrank, really cool. Has to be. I'm not biased towards I am. Robots are cool. Brand is a tree man that is on fire and was a tribesman. And his name used to be Keegan. But now he's on fire. And he's pretty cool. I think that Brand is pretty cool. Next up is Braum. Another character I've never played. Has a giant shield. Looks cool. I think Braum is cool. And we may even move him up to pretty cool. Like I love his mustache is really good. We're gonna move him up to pretty cool. Look at that mustache. Look at that mustache. After Braum is Caitlyn. Caitlyn, pretty cool. I like her hat a lot. Her gun is pretty cool. I don't think her colors necessarily. I mean, her colors flow better than Ari's do for sure because her hair is almost the same shade as her shirt. I don't know. Is she really cool or is she pretty cool? I do like her hat a lot. We're gonna put her in really cool. She's got a cool hat. Following up Caitlyn is Camille. Camille has robot legs, and they have like these blades on them, and then also have hooks that can come out of the side and fling her forward. Camille is really dang cool, man. That's such a cool idea. And blade legs are really dang cool. All right, following Camille is Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a snake woman. I think that much like Alistair and Blitzcrank, it comes down to how it's utilized in the appearance, to how cool it is. Alistair could have been like a really sick Minotaur man with a giant battle axe and just carving through people, but instead he's kind of just a Minotaur, right? Blitzcrank could have just been a robot, but instead he's a cool electrical robot with a rocket punch. Cassiopeia is kind of just a snake woman, but she's got those like poison claw hands. So I think she like comes straight up in the middle of cool. I don't think she's like pretty cool or really cool, but she's cool. Cho'Gath is a monster from the void that looks like a monster from the void. And like, first off, monster from the void is super cool. But we don't even have a super cool category because we skip straight on to really cool. But Cho'Gath is really dang cool. Look at how cool he is, man. And he gets bigger by eating things? That's really dang cool. All right, so following Cho'Gath, we have Porky. And Porky is a pilot. And he's got a machine that he flies in. Look, the idea behind Corky is cool, so I'm gonna put Corky in sorta cool, but I don't think Corky's that cool. I think it could be really cool. Maybe with like a redesign, Corky could be really sick, but he's just kind of sorta cool. Darius. Darius is the executioner. He looks sick. His armor's really cool. His axe is really cool. He's got that tattered cloak. He sells the idea of the executioner really well. We're going to put Darius in really cool. Following Darius is Diana. Diana is this over here. Diana is she's pretty cool. I like her armor a lot. I like the moon sigil, and then her weapon is pretty cool. But that's kind of all that I think is cool about her. Like her kit's cool, I guess, but I don't know. We're gonna put Diana in a sort of cool. I think she's all right. Draven. Draven. I just don't think Draven's that cool, man. Like I like his kit a lot. I like playing as Draven. I just don't think Draven's that cool. And it's a situation where like skins absolutely help. Soul Reaver Draven looks incredible. Primetime Draven is so cool. Beast Hunter Draven is sick. Draven is like, yeah, all right. But regular Draven, no. Regular Draven, I'm sorry, is uncool. I'm so sorry, Draven. Didn't want it to be this way, but it do be this way. Dr. Mundo, the madman of Zaun. Mundo goes where Mundo pleases. That's the thing. That's the big takeaway. That's the thing you got to remember. And no matter how much he may be a Jekyll and Hyde that is just the Hyde mixed with the Hulk, Mundo goes where Mundo pleases. And so, Mundo is going into really cool. I think Mundo is pretty nifty. I like him. I like him a lot. Following Dr. Mundo is Echo. Echo, I'm torn on Echo because I think in some ways Echo is really cool, and in other ways Echo is trying too hard to be cool. Like the sword is cool, the abilities are cool, the power up pack on the back is really cool. The mohawk and the like white face paint, the X on the face for EXO. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. Um I'm gonna put Echo in sorta cool because I think that some things about Echo are pretty cool. But next up is Elise, the Spider Queen, and she is a Spider Woman. And again, could just be a Spider Woman, right? But her official art has her, which is what we're basing all of these off of, by the way, the official art from the League of Legends website itself. Her official art has her set in a throne surrounded by webs, and her throne has spider legs, and that's pretty dang cool. That's all I'm saying. She's really dang cool. That's just great. That's her helmet has spider legs on it. That's pretty dang cool. All right. So, I should have called that super cool because I'm going to mix it up with the other two. Next up is Evelyn. Evelyn, I think, is all right. Like, I get what they're going for here. She's the succubus, you know. She's got the big wings with the points on them that look pretty cool. I think her color palette is really nice. So we're gonna put her in pretty cool. But I think her hair is in stark contrast to the rest of the color palette, and maybe it's supposed to be that way. But everything else flows so well, and then her hair is just like this shock of white. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna put her in pretty cool. Ezreal. Ezreal is a cartographer. He's an adventurer. He wants he's an explorer, you know? I think Ezreal has some skins that would put him in really dang cool. I think Ezreal's just cool. He's pretty nifty, you know? I put him at top of cool already, though. I think he's probably top of cool. Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is really dang cool, man. He's like he's the ancient fear. He's this really old, like ageless horror that is out to get people, and he has a scythe. And when you use his abilities, like you can leave the clone that does the like the it's so cool. It's so cool. Fiddlesticks is great. He's really dang cool. Following Fiddle is Fiora. She's a fencer, a duelist. She's pretty cool. I think her outfit could be more cool, but I think that on her own, she's pretty cool. We're gonna put her in pretty cool. Ezreal's outfit's better, but I think the idea behind Fiora is cooler. We're gonna move Ezreal up to pretty cool as well. Watch Ezreal wind up in really dang cool somehow. Fizz. Fizz is a amphibious Yordle, and he can summon a shark. And you know, personally, I don't think Fizz looks that cool, but Annie rules. His shark looks really cool. So I'm gonna put Fizz at top of pretty cool right now. Because he can summon a shark, man. That's really cool. Following Fizz is Galio. Old Galio probably would have been way lower on this list. New Galio looks sick. New Galio looks incredibly cool. He's got like the white wings made of gold, and like his helmet. It's his face, I guess, but it looks so cool, man. New Galio is really cool. We'll go back and rank these in the tiers when we get there. Gangplank. Old Gangplank also would have been probably kind of cool or uncool. New Gangplank looks pretty cool. He's got like the weathered pirate look going on. I like him. I like him a lot. We're gonna put him in pretty cool. I do think the majority of champions in League are cooler than they aren't cool. Garen. Garen, he got his visual rework. I think he looks good. He's just still a little boring design wise. And again, the skins, man. Garen has some incredible skins. Steel Legion Garen is maybe one of the coolest skins in this game. And then when you get into like Mecha Kingdoms Garen, oh my gosh. But we're rating regular Garen. I think his shoulder pads are really cool. I think his cape is pretty cool. But I just don't find him visually all that interesting. So we're just gonna put him in cool. We're gonna put him in sorta cool. Following Garen is Gnar. And Gnar is kind of cool, man. Gnar is probably way above kind of cool. Gnar is like this little Yordle that can turn into a giant Yordle. And he's got this whole prehistoric theme going on, which works really well. His official art has him like in a cave with his little bone dagger boomerang. And he's looking at a footprint, and there's water in there. Yeah, he's pretty cool, man. We may put him kind of high and pretty cool. He can turn into a giant, like, Mega Gnar. That's pretty cool. Next up is Gragas. And, like, Gragas is okay. I get what they're going for here. I think he's fun to play, right? But I just don't think he looks that cool. I think his beard gives him some bonus points because, like, it's in 3 knots. But we're just gonna put him in sorta cool. Sorry, Gragas. Next up is Graves. Graves is pretty cool, man. He's got like the shotgun with like the red tattered cape. He's got the extra shells on his belt. They got the blue of his shirt, which matches the blue of his eyes. He's got the cigar, and it's lit. Yeah, Graves is pretty cool. We're going to put Graves in really cool. We're going to make another tier. That's what we're about to do. We're going to make another tier, and we're going to call it super cool. And we're going to move... Two. And then we're going to move... That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that right there. That makes me feel a lot better about our tier list right now. Next up is Hecarim. Hecarim, I think his default skin looks pretty bad. I'm going to be honest with you. I think his other skins look really cool. Like especially Blood Knight Hecarim is a really cool skin. But there's some really amazing skins for Hecarim. His regular skin, though, unfortunately, I don't think looks that great at all. But at the same time, he's still a, like, spiritual horseman, centaur, Grim Reaper, which is really dang cool. I think if we were counting skins, he would be in super cool. But, like, man, that's really dang cool. Oh, he's so cool. I just hate that helmet so much. Following Hecarim is Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger is a weird one because I think a lot of the Yordles don't get very high on my rankings for coolness because I think like the idea behind them is cool, but they themselves are not that cool, right? However, Heimer's pretty dang cool. He's got the like mad scientist thing going on, and his hair is all stacked up on top to kind of represent that. He can build turrets. I think he's pretty dang cool. Following Heimer is Alawi. Alawi is a lot of fun to play and is using the power of the Great Kraken to kill her enemies. She's a prophet of the Great Kraken, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I also think that her outfit is really cool. The colors mesh really well together. The red in her outfit is almost the same color as her hair. So you could easily flow it in passing without paying attention to it. It looks really good, honestly. The tattoos on her shoulders being the almost the same dull green as her pants. The color palette works really well together, and her bright green eyes match the color of her abilities. So honestly, I think this is a great character design. I think they did a really good job with her. And Alawi's going in super cool. Following Alawi is Aurelia. Aurelia is a champion that I have not played since my return to League of Legends. But she looks really cool. You have like the blades that she can summon that are all around her in her official art, right? The long black hair that is like swirling with the swirl of the blades. You have the extra like tassels, the pinions on her wrists come down. She just looks really cool, man. Again, I haven't played her to know how she plays. That video will be coming later after I've played every character. But I think she's really cool. I think she's really cool. Following Aurelia, we have Ivern. Ivern, in a lot of ways, creeps me out. And it could just be because I play with someone who regularly uses Candy King Ivern that it creeps me out so much. But I do think Ivern is really strong design wise. I think that as like a tree himself, almost, I think that I guess almost he basically is. The way that they have done it with like the mushroom growing out that kind of looks like a little hat and the big wide forehead, I think it's really, really solid. And so we're gonna put Ivern in really cool, and we're probably gonna put Ivern at maybe right behind Aphelios in really cool. Following Ivern is Janna. Janna, Janna's one of the older champions, and like honestly, I know what they're going for here, but the official art kind of just makes her look like skimpy elf princess, Like there's no she's in the sky, but that's kind of it. There's a bird flying by. I think the bird looks cooler than she does, honestly. And again, I haven't played her to know how she plays. If we were counting skins, I think Janna has some incredible skins. Victorious Janna is like, oh, that skin's so good. If you get the chance, look up Victorious Janna. Actually, let me bring it over here where everybody can see it. Because this skin looks incredible. Look at this skin. But we're not basing it on skins. We're basing it on default. So, default Janna is uncool. I'm sorry. I don't think elf woman in the sky works anymore for me. I'm over that. I want elf women on the ground doing cool stuff with explosions around them, and they're wearing sick armor. That's what I want. Give me that, Janna, and she'll go in super. Jarvan the Fourth is next. Old Jarvan, I think, would have probably gone in uncool as well. New Jarvan, I think, has a pretty interesting design going on. The spikes on his armor are really cool. The spear sword of his is really cool now. And I just think they did a really good job with this visual rework. In game, I think maybe he could have a little bit more to break up the gold of his design, but Jarvan still looks really cool. So we're gonna put him in. He's also the king, like that's pretty nice. I mean, I guess he's the prince, but he's gonna be king. Following Jarvan is Jax. So, Jax. Jax? I love Jax so much. I cannot explain to you why I think this, I will try, but why I think this design is so good. You have the black fur comes down the middle. You have the really cool looking helmet, and like all of it contained by this purple that is the same purple as his hands. You have the tassel coming off the helmet. You have the lamppost because he fights with a lamppost. He's the last known weapon master of his home, and it was his homeland, Acathia, was laid low by his own hubris in unleashing the void. That's pretty dang cool. Yeah, Jackson's going in super cool. Jax is such a great design, man. After Jax is Jace. I think Jace is maybe a little bit less cool than Jax, but I love Jace's outfit. So you have the weird looking belt buckle that's very clearly supposed to be like a hex tech, but also ties into his armor, which is also very hexed, right? Um, it all flows really well. I think that Jax or Jace kind of has a stupid look on his face, but I think the rest of his kit, his design goes really well together. The hammer gun is really cool. So we're gonna put him in really cool. Following Jace is Jin. Jin looks really cool, by the way. I love the what is it even called? It's the like the poncho style uh shirt that he's wearing, coat that he's wearing. I love his mask. His gun's really cool. I love the gloved arm or robot arm. It's kind of hard to tell which one. He's an assassin. He's just pretty cool, man. I think we're gonna put him in really cool, and we might move Jace down to pretty. Following Jin is Jinx. Jinx is like a weird one for me because I don't like her design at all. It just doesn't work for me. But I love her guns. Her guns are so cool. Um, I know a lot of people love Jinx's design, and there are skins that I think look really good on her. I don't know if it's the haircut. I don't know if it's the outfit. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't work for me at all. It's just too much, I guess. But colors do flow really well together. Um, Guns are really cool though. So we're gonna put her in just cool for me. Again, this list is extremely subjective. And please tell me where you would put these people in the comment section down below because I'm honestly really curious. Kaisa. She's the daughter of the void. She's pretty cool. I don't love the wings. I think it's a cool idea. I think it's the fact that they go behind her instead of to the sides of her that really like hurts the design for me because they do just look like wings then. Whereas the official art kind of makes them look like they go over her shoulders as like these giant pauldrons. In actuality, they're connected to the top of her shoulders and go behind her as she moves. And I do think that muddles up her design as she's running around. But I do still think the design is pretty cool. I love everything to do with the Void in this game. Her guns are really cool. So we're going to put her in pretty cool, which is now getting pretty full. We're going to have to move some people around soon. Following Kaisa is Callista. Callista is literally a ghost, and she will literally pull you into death so that you can be a ghost with her, so that your soul cannot escape her. Which is super cool. And the fact that she does that to an ally, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Following up Callista is Karma. Karma's pretty cool. I think her outfit is maybe one of my favorites in the game. I don't love the extra stuff behind her, but I think her outfit is really cool. The purple, the outfit clashes, not really clashes, but is like a hard offset from the rest of her abilities. Nothing else on her is purple, just her outfit. But somehow it works pretty well. I like her a lot. We're going to put her in really cool. Let's go ahead and move. Man, who do we move? Let's move Anivia down to cool. And then let's move. I mean, it's not going to hurt if pretty cool is like 2 rows, but move. Man, this is tough. Let's just move Jace down to cool because it's really just his outfit that I like. I really don't like his face. His face is just stupid. And like, it's not even that it's drawn badly because it's not. It just doesn't work for me. I don't think his face is cool. Karthus, the Death Singer. Karthus is a like necromancer. He's like a lich that can keep attacking after he's dead. And I mean that's pretty dang cool. Karthus is really solid design wise. I love his armor. I love the faded red, his clothes. The shoulder pads are really cool. I just think Karthus is a really well designed champion when it comes to cool factor. Because again, that's what we're talking about today is cool factor. Kassadin. Kassadin is a weird one in that I think Kassadin, the idea behind Kassadin is super cool. He's this void walker that can traverse into the void and uses it to travel. I don't love his helmet. I think there are skins that absolutely fix Kassadin's helmet and make it look so cool. Harbinger Kassadin, I think that helmet looks way cooler. Cosmic Reaver Kassadin's helmet is incredible with just like the basic faceplate and then the horns coming off the top. Regular Kassadin's helmet, I don't love, but at the same time, I do still love the design a lot. We're gonna put Kassadin in really cool. We're only in the K's, and we're 40 minutes into this video. This is gonna be a long one, folks. Next up is Katarina. Katarina's design is kind of basic still, but her visual rework helped a lot. I think that she looks pretty cool. The scar on her eye, the red lips to match the red hair, the scar on her stomach, the blades. She looks okay. She looks cool. I don't think she's like pretty cool or really cool, but I think she looks cool. Following Katarina is Kale. Kale being an angel, basically. I'm torn on Kale's design because on the one hand, I think it's great. I think it's incredible. And on the other, what are those shoulder plates? What are those shoulder pads, man? That just come up with this giant horn-like thing on them. Like, what is that? We're gonna put Kale in really cool. I think if not for that, if not for the shoulder plates, we probably would have put her higher. But I just don't like them. Next up is Kane. Kane is like also a Reaper. He looks pretty cool. I like that his scythe has an eye on it. Like it's looking like it's alive as well. And it's pretty cool. I just read the description of the scythe. And so, Kane is gonna go a whole lot higher than he was before. I haven't played him yet. But Kane's ancient scythe has like a being inside it called Rast, which is a Darkin, and either Kane will master Rast and become the Shadow Assassin, or Darkin will triumph and take over Kane's body, which is really dang cool. Wow. Okay, that's going into really dang cool, maybe super cool. He's constantly fighting. Oh man, that's cool. Kinnan. Kinnan is gonna break my Yordle curse here. Because I think Kinnan is really dang cool. Kinnan is a Yordle ninja that is lightning powered, and his outfit looks incredible. It is exactly what a Yordle ninja should look like. Kinnan looks great. After Kinnan is Kha'Zix. I always forget his name. Kha'Zix is a void, like Bugman, the Void Reaver. And again, could have just been a Bugman, right? It could have easily been an Alistair situation and just been a Bugman. But he's a void-powered Bugman with like void mantis claws. And so he's really dang cool. I think that's how you get me, Bugman from the void. I'm with you. Let's go. Kindred. Kindred is the coolest champion in League of Legends. And I will stand by that fact. Kindred is Death split into two because Death got lonely. And so Death would never have to be alone again. He split himself into the Lamb and the wolf, which is incredible and is by far the coolest idea I've ever heard. So yeah, no, Kindred is the coolest champion in League of Legends. That's how it works. I didn't make the rules. They were made before the world began, and we're just here now living them. After Kindred is Kled. Kled is a ornery old soldier, the cantankerous cavalier that rides a lizard named Scarl. He is missing an eye and wears an eye patch. He crushes arrows in his hand, and he has a hook that he can pull people closer to him with if they're within range long enough. Scarl trots around. Kled has a shotgun. Kled is super cool. We'll have to decide later which one's cooler, Kled or Aurelion Sol. But Kled is one of my favorite champions in this game, and I love him so much. He's such a cool idea. Cannot get enough of him. Another super cool champion is Kog'Maw, the Mouth of the Abyss. Kog'Maw is a void creature that is always hungry and wants more food. I think he has some skins that would put him maybe at top of super cool, although then he'd have to fight Kindred. But I think even the basic Kog'Maw skin is really cool. The second mouth inside is really interesting. And he just wants to feast, man. Just let Kog'Maw eat some more food, He's just hungry. Following Kog'Maw, man, super cool. There's a lot of champions I really like in this game, design-wise. Following Kog'Maw is LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc is pretty cool. Her vizier style cloak is really cool, even if I don't love her outfit. Mainly because I don't think that it's not the shade of purple that her abilities are. It's not the shade of purple that anything else on her is except for her lips. And so it's a weird, I guess the cloak is also that purple on the outside. It's not on the inside. But it's just a decision to make. So we're going to put her in pretty cool. I think if that purple was a little bit more, like maybe if that purple was the color of her magic, or if the gem in the middle of her tiara was purple as well, I would have maybe flowed a little bit better. But skins would probably fix that. Lee Sin. Lee Sin is a fighter from Ionia. He is the blind monk, and he's pretty cool. I mean, he's like, the blind monk idea is always really strong, and he kind of is just that, He kind of doesn't have a lot more going on to him, but I do think he's really well realized. I think we're going to put him at top of cool, because he does that role really well. Following Lee Sin, we have Leona. Leona is the Radiant Dawn. Her armor is pretty good. Her shield is immense. Her sword is huge. But I think that her kit, like her color kit, really flows well together. The only complaint that I have with her colors is that the tassels in the center of her waist piece are not colored the same as her shield and sword, and her chest. But if it was all colored the same, I think it would flow a lot better. That said, I still think it's a very, very strong design. I don't think she's like super cool, but I think she's really cool. I think that it all flows really well, and she sells the idea of the tank really well. Following Leona, we have Lilia. Lilia is a fawn dryad. She's all right. She sells that role really well, right? She is that. But I don't love Lilia's design. I think using the flower as a hat is really smart. I think Ivern did it better. I love the way she moves around. I think that they did a great job with her bouncing around. So we're going to put her in pretty cool. But she just doesn't make it to any of the higher tiers. I do apologize for those who love her design. Following Lilia, we have Lissandra. I forgot this champion existed because I never see them. Um, the Ice Witch. So I don't. Oh man, this is gonna be tough because I don't think her design in the official art sells ice as much as it sells like spectral. Her fingers are long. Her hair is really cool. Her outfit is pretty cool. Her shoulder plates are not that cool. But she really feels like a ghostly entity to me, and not so much an ice entity. But I mean, her powers definitely still sell it. She's black ice themed, right? Which black ice is very dangerous. Um, yeah, I mean, she looks cool in gameplay. I love you don't see it in the art, but I love that her skirt ends in that grouping of ice. She's okay. I think we're gonna put her in cool, maybe top of cool. I think that if her official art made her look just a little bit more ice themed, but how can you do that with black ice being the theme? You know, it's tough, right? But her in-game art looks really good. So. Following Lysandra is Lucian. Lucian. Where do we rank Lucian, man? Like, much like Jace, I don't think his face is super cool. I don't like the look on his face, but everything else about him I think is pretty cool. Guns are really well designed. The way that he holds them and like the slight lean that he's got going on, look really cool. In game, I think Lucian looks really cool. Dashing around, firing beams of light. Um, very very cool idea. And then like he's after Thresh because Thresh slew his wife. Man, we're gonna put Lucian in pretty cool. He may move up to really cool. Following Lucian is Lulu. Lulu is a Yordle, and if you're used to where I put Yordles at this point, you may know where this is going. I think like they sell the idea really well, right? The face sorceress, she's got the big hat, she's got the long purple hair. I think she's pretty cool. I just don't think that she's like super cool. Very very cool idea though. Very very cool idea. And again, that's the upper half of the list. That's not the lower half of the list. I don't think any of these champions are bad. Even the ones I think are uncool, I get what they're going for, right? And in gameplay and with skins, all of these champions get better. But this is just based on my personal subjective opinion. So let me know yours in the comment section down below. Next up is Lux. I find Lux's default outfit to be both really cool and kind of boring at the same time. I love that it's the same like undersuit color all the way across. I think that looks really cool. And I love that the shoulder pads, the bracers, and the waist piece all share that color, while the knee pads and the chest piece share the same color as the coif. I think that's really cool. I don't love the staff, and I think that's what I keep coming back. The staff just doesn't really sell it to me. The white gloves that don't really go with anything else in her kit that could have easily been the same color as the undersuit or as the steel, I think would have been really nice. But I think Lux as an idea is really cool. Someone who harnesses the power of light. So we're gonna put her in pretty cool. She might go to top of pretty cool, honestly. I hate plating against a Lux though. Hate it. Malphite is next, and Malphite could have easily just been Rock Dude, right? But I think that the way that they have designed Malphite, he looks really cool. It's just this idea of like, hey, I'm not just a rock man. I'm a spiky rock man that can get more spikes and will chase you down. Also, I can throw rocks at you, and when I take enough damage, I go molten. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Malphite. You could have just been an Alistair, but instead you're a Malphite. Following Malphite, it takes a minute for anybody who's like, man, there's a delay. It takes a minute for the website to reload, where I can view the entire champion. Following Malphite is Malzahar, the Prophet of the Void. I don't know if you've noticed the clear bias that I have for powers that come from the void in this list so far. But Malzahar going straight up to super cool. He can summon creatures from the void, and his outfit is incredible. I love the hood. I love the scarf. I love everything about his design. If you were to ask me what Alhazred from Lovecraft Mythos would look like, he would look like Malzahar to me. It's perfect. I love that design so much. Malzahar is great. Super cool. Following Malzahar is Maokai. Maokai, I think, is alright. I think Ivern sells the Tree Man design a little bit better, even though Maokai is maybe more of a tree. Like, Ivern is more stylized, whereas Maokai is more just, hey, he's a tree man. He's a tree ant, you know? I do think the idea of Maokai throwing his saplings is pretty cool. I'm like, hey, yeah, he's gonna throw his baby at you, and you got to deal with that baby. But I just think he's kind of cool. This may be the most controversial one on the list, but I just think he's kind of cool. Following Maokai, I almost said Malphite, is Master Yi. Master Yi really needs a visual rework at this point. I find his design super, super boring. The shoulder pads, I don't know what's going on with those. I guess it's not even shoulder pads per se, it's a neck guard. The helmet, I think, is really weird with all the eyes, and then it comes back into the hook. It looks like it's maybe supposed to be a crane. I think the sword is cool, but Master Yi is he's just uncool to me. I'm so sorry. He has some incredible skins though. When you get into like Assassin Master Yi, that makes the eyes look really cool. Headhunter Master Yi has a way cooler helmet and a way cooler sword. Eternal Sword Yi looks really cool, and Blood Master Yi is intense. I think there's some really great Yi skins, but regular Master Yi just does not work for me. Following Master Yi is Misfortune, and everything might have just crashed on us. All right, we did in fact lose power. I made a joke about it in the stuff that no longer exists because that footage is corrupt. We could lose power again. I'm going to do this in chunks on my end, and you won't notice any difference on your end. The only thing you'll notice that's different is that everything from Master Yi down has had to come back into the lineup so that I can rank them again, but I already know where I'm putting them, so we're probably going to burn through them pretty quick. Mordekaiser is going in super cool because he is the ghost, a revenant, twice dead, thrice reborn, moving his armor around. I'm repeating myself from a video you'll never see because it's lost, it's corrupt. But he's really dang cool. He's super cool. In fact, he is really dang cool. We're going to put him at top of really dang cool, but he's still really dang cool. I'm already changing my rankings from the time you didn't see, the time that no longer exists. Malzahar? I already ranked Malzahar in the previous one, didn't I? Put him in triple S? Regardless, Malzahar, triple S, really cool hat, really cool helmet, really cool everything. Love him so much. Alhazred himself, born into the Riot universe. Super cool. Pantheon, love his new design. Pantheon looks really dang cool with his new design. Love it a lot. He looks really sick, and I wish that he held up better in the late game. Hey Riot, just buff him up a little bit, please. Ornn looks incredible. The idea behind Ornn is so cool. The idea of like, hey, I was the craftsman. I was the spirit of creativity and forging, and you guys just aren't doing a good enough job up there. So now I'm coming to fight this fight myself. Super cool. Oriana, really dang cool. She's a robot, but she's a robot that used to be human. She's a robot that, is just trying to put everything back together again. She's great. I love her so much. Nasus, really cool Jackal Man. Really cool Egyptian Jackal Man. Looks way better after his rework. Really, really cool looking. Love him a lot. Nocturne, super cool. He is the nightmares of men and women given flesh and bone, I guess. He is the shadow that lurks inside the subconscious of every human. and he's super cool. Morgana, I think, is just pretty cool. I think she's all right. She's definitely like the reverse of Kale in a lot of ways, but she's all right. Nami also pretty cool. She could have just been a mermaid. I think they did a good job making sure she's not, but she's just pretty cool. Nico, pretty cool. We're almost done. After we get done with Pike, then we'll be back into people that I haven't done before in a video you'll never see. Um, Pretty cool. You know, she does the job. The chameleon, I think she sells that role well. The ability to turn into other champions is pretty cool. So pretty cool it is. Needily able to turn into a cougar. Pretty dang cool. If you know anybody that can turn into a cougar, introduce me to them. I'd like to be their friend. Pretty cool. Poppy. I think Poppy's really cool actually. I really like her design. I really like everything about the giant hammer that she uses. Her old design was just kind of for me, but her new design is really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Misfortune, just sort of cool. Gotta be honest. I think that again, she's one of those early champions. I think that she's got skins that are incredible. She's just sort of cool for me. Olaf, sort of cool. He's just the Viking berserker. You know, he's fun to play, but just sort of cool. Nunu and Willop, cool. I like the idea. It's a nifty idea. The Yeti, I don't think Nunu himself is that cool at all, but Willump is pretty cool. And then Pike is the last one. Pike is really dang cool. The like pirate, the buccaneer that drowned but has come back again. Uh Really, really cool. And his official art that just has him in a room underwater surrounded by corpses that are like tied to and lashed to the sunken ship so that they can be in this meeting with him. Really, really cool. I like him a lot. Really dang cool. Following Pike is Kiana. Uh Kiana is like she's fine, you know, she's cool. I just don't love her design. I think the ring blade is really nifty, but that's kind of it for her. I think we're just gonna put her in cool, you know. Following Kiana is Win. Gwen, I think, is pretty cool. I think the idea of like, hey, I'm a ranger. I'm out here trying to like be a spy and find information, and this is my cool hot guy Valor, and we have an unbreakable bond, and I just think that's pretty cool. You know, she can fly around, which is pretty cool. It's not like the best ability in the game, and it's not the worst ability in the game, but it's pretty dang cool. I like it a lot. Um, yeah, I think Quinn is pretty cool, really cool. Quinn's pretty cool. Put her at towards top three. We still got to rank these in the tiers too. Um, Past Quinn, have to reload the page. Oh, we missed Nautilus. Nautilus is super cool. Nautilus is a titan of ancient days that sank and has climbed back out of the ocean and just has the two burning red eyes as he, or I guess gold eyes, as he looks down on people as he crushes them with a rusted anchor with its chain. He's super cool. Following Quinn and Nautilus is Rakan. Rakan, he's all right. He's kind of cool. I don't think that he's like. I don't think that he's like super cool. But I think like his movement is really interesting. The like zipping around stuff. We'll put him in sorta cool. I think he's sorta cool. Following Rakan is Ramus. Ramus is an armadillo, which you know, armadillos pretty cool. Also, Ramus can turn into a Powerball and accelerate towards his enemies. Okay. Ramus, pretty cool. I like Ram. In fact, I'd probably put Ramus towards the top of pretty. Um, After Ramus is a weird one. It's Rek'Sai, and I think that like Rek'Sai is like weird for me. She's how do I put this? She's like a really cool idea, but I don't like her. I don't know. I think like the running around quadrupedal style is really cool. The burrowing in the ground is really cool. Maybe it's just the colors. I don't love her colors, but she's pretty cool. She's in the top ranks of pretty cool. I need to stop and just rank these when I get there. A creature that just like crawls through the ground and runs on all fours. Pretty cool. She may even move up to really cool. You know who is really cool? Maybe even really dang cool. That's Renekton, the Butcher of the Sands. A rage-fueled ascended from ancient Shurima himself. Or itself, I guess. Yeah, Renekton's just super cool, man. He's a crocodile man with a giant blade that just kills people. Really dang cool. Really dang cool. Following Renekton is Rengar. Rengar is a lion man with an eye patch. The Pride Stalker. He and Kha'Zix have like a rivalry going on, which is pretty good. I like Rengar's design a lot. I think Lion Man is a really like cool idea. I think it's way rarer than like Minotaur Man, but he's also not just a Lion Man. He's also like really well stylized. Eye patch, the gauntlet, the claw blades, this one spiked pauldron, the armor, the beard coming down into a braid. I think Rengar's really cool. Following Rengar is Riven. And I think the idea of Riven is maybe cooler than Riven is, but the idea goes with Riven. So give me a second while it loads in here. So Riven is an exiled swordmaster. And her sword is broken. And so like as you get her ult, she's able to like summon the whole thing by empowering it. You have some really cool movement with her. I think she has some great skins. I just don't think her regular design is all that cool. But the broken sword is super sick. So I think we're going to put her in pretty cool. But I don't think she can get any higher than that, really. Following Riven is Rumble. Rumble is a Yordle that pilots a mech. Which is, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think that Rumble's mech is very much like the Junkyard mech, and so it's not as cool as it could be. Some of his skins make that mech something really special, honestly. Like the Badlands bundle, or the Rumble in the Jungle being like, hey, what if he only had jungle parts to use? And the Super Galaxy one looks pretty cool too. I think that the mech could be, I don't know. I want the mech to be more, and it's not, but it is still a mech. So he's going in really cool. Following them is Rise, and Rise is like really boring to me design wise. Like he's a great sorcerer, and that's great, but he's just so bland to me. I like that like his desire to study magic is turned in blue. I think that's cool. I just don't think he himself is really cool. So we're gonna put him, oh man. We're gonna put him in kinda cool. Not so much uncool, but kinda cool. Following Rise is Sejuani. Sejuani Sejuani is like a war mother Viking riding a boar with a flail. That's pretty dang cool, honestly, in and of itself. But then she's got like the helmet that has the single horn on it. The other one's broken off and it's shattered almost, and you can see the edges of it still. That's really dang cool. I think she's got to go towards the top of really dang cool. Sejuani has such a cool character design, and some of her skins are like really good. You get into Dark Rider Sejuani or Bear Cavalry Sejuani. Beast Hunter Sejuani is really great. Firecracker Sejuani is really funny. Hextech Sejuani is great. There's just some really good Sejuani skins. I need to play more Sejuani. Following Sejuani is Senna. Senna, I think, Senna, I think, has a pretty interesting design. I love her cloak. I love the tassels. I love her weapon. It's kind of like, it's such a weird thing because I think her weapon is incredibly cool. And I think her official art doesn't really show that because it focuses on her and just has the weapon glowing. And it's like her weapon is a really sick gun that fires like relic power of shadow and light. Like that's really cool. So we're gonna put her in really cool for the sake of her gun. I do think her design itself is pretty solid, but following Senna is Shaco. I just realized Set's not on this list. Yone's on this list. Set's not on this list. That's weird. Samira is not either, and we need to rank Samira as well. Well, after Shaco, we'll rank Set and Samira at the same time. Shaco is like a clown jester man, and he's also a demon, kind of. He's like, he's evil. He's pure evil, and I love him and I hate him at the same time. I hate laning against a Shaco. I love playing a Shaco. I think that Shaco is a really strong design choice because he easily could just be the clown man, the harbinger, or the jester, but he's not, right? He very much is creepy and spooky, and that's even down to like his movements. The way that he walks is just like yeah, no, I think Shaco's really cool. So Set and Samira, where would we put them? Set would go in super cool. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the idea behind Set is really cool. Of like the brawler that goes into the arena and then finally fights his way up to the top. His official art has him like at a throne, just sitting there looking super cool. And then like the idea behind Set's powers are really cool too. That he powers up and does more damage based on the damage that he's taken. Set would absolutely go in super cool, and honestly, so would Samira. I think that Samira is like really cool design wise. Her official art's really nice, and then when you get into the like, she can toss a coin forward at people and it costs one of her gil, like or one of her gold. That's really cool. And then she's DMC themed. I think she would be super cool as well. So also, Set's ultimate is just like he grabs them and jumps into the air and crashes them into the ground. It's so good. Set would be super cool. Samira would be super cool. Where does Shin go? I think Shin is a really cool design. I love his design so much. And then his new after his rework, the sword, the spirit sword, is super cool. Being able to like place that and let it help people or to attack with it with your ult, like it's really interesting. I think that like it's such a cool idea. We're gonna put Shin in really dang cool. Following Shin, we have Shyvana. We still have like 30 champions to go. Shyvana, she's a half dragon, which is already pretty cool. She's like tied in with Jarvan in a way that's really interesting, and I like a lot. I love her helmet for her official art. The flaming hand is really cool. And being able to like turn into dragon form, I also think is really, really cool. I like Shyvana a lot. We're gonna put Shyvana in really cool. Next up is Singed. Singed is like weird in that I think his regular design is one of the oldest ones, right? And also doesn't super need an update. It kind of works just the way it is. He is the mad chemist. He's got the giant bottle of his liquid on his back, walking around with it, you know? He's got the huge shield. His job is to tank things, and he tanks it really well. And I think we're gonna put him in really cool. I think the moment when he uses ult and the bottle starts to shake a little bit and make out that loud like noise, it's like, yeah, that's really cool. Following Singed is Scion, a champion that recently got a rework. I say recently; it's been a couple years, I guess. Um, Scion is great. I think he's super cool. The idea of like, hey, he is a lich, basically. He's gonna keep getting up. He's gonna keep fighting. You kill him, he's got a moment to keep attacking. Maybe not a lich. He's more a zombie, I guess. Um, but just like that temporary reanimate, just super cool, super cool. Yeah, Scion really dang cool. Following Scion is Sivir. Whereas Singed basic design, I think, doesn't need the update. Sivir really did need that visual update. She looks a lot better now. Um, I still don't think she's like super cool, but she's not bad. She's got some great skins, especially her pizza skin. So we're gonna put Sivir in cool. I think she's all right. Next up is Skarner. Skarner, I think, is Skarner is like really cool. A scorpion that's of crystal from a hidden valley from an ancient race, and he can like drag you forward. He's pretty cool. Cool. And the whole like, hey, yeah, he places these crystals around him, or they spawn, I guess. And then when you're near them and you're on his team, Skarner is just gonna like get so much extra attack speed. Great. Skarner, I think, is really cool. Following Skarner is Sona. Sona, the mute songstress. Man, we're making it through here, but whoa, we have so many more of these to go. Um, I think she's pretty cool. Her design is pretty interesting. I like the harp that she carries around with her. I don't love her. I don't hate her. She's cool. Soraka is next. Soraka is the dryad, the healer. She's pretty cool. She got some cool stuff going on. Um, I think that her design is solid. I love the horn. The fact that she's from celestial dimensions is pretty cool, and that she gave up her immortality to help people. That's pretty interesting, you know. In gameplay, I find her a little boring, but she is a very good healer and a very good support. And this is not about gameplay, so we're gonna put her in pretty cool, which now extends it again, and we're gonna have to zoom out again. But there's a lot of champions in League of Legends, so it makes sense. Next up is Swain. Swain is a commander. He's extremely interesting. Pulling up the full profile here now. He's a Grand General. He's also lost his left arm. And now instead uses a spectral cursed red arm. He steals souls and feasts upon them. He's got crow themes. He's really cool. He might even be super cool. We'll see when we go to re-rank some of these. But he's really dang cool. I love him a whole lot. Makes me very happy. Such a cool idea. Such a cool design. Very, very cool. Next up is Silas, who is also pretty cool. Silas, a prisoner, escaped, unshackled, as it were. Can steal ultimates. That's pretty dang cool. I don't like playing as him really, and I do think when you're running around with him, when he's just like, "I was hunted once," it's like, okay, well, that's a weird thing to say when you're just walking around, but sure. I do think he's pretty cool though. I think he's even really cool because of the ultimate stealing. I think that's a really cool idea. Following Silas, I can't remember her name. It's like Syndra. That's right. Syndra, Ionian mage that commands gravity, which is pretty cool. I don't love her design at all. I really dislike her helmet, but I think her powers are really cool. So we're gonna put her in pretty cool, and we'll probably move her up towards the middle of pretty cool. Tom Kench is next. Man, I really should have got some more tea when the power went out. Tom Kench, the River King. He's a demon, first off, which you wouldn't know necessarily when looking at him, right? He feeds on misery, which only makes me like him more. You know, he's super cool. He's just this cool toad man that just like devours his way through life. He's super cool. I love him so much. It only makes it better when you play him and you know that he feeds on misery. So good. Next up is Talia. She is a nomadic mage from Shurima. I think that her design is super cool. I don't necessarily love her powers. I think there's some cool stuff with them. Don't get me wrong. But I think her design is super cool. And what I love the most about her is from like a lore perspective, where you see the difference between old Shurima, which was about sand, and new Shurima, which is about rock, earth. That's really cool that you see the difference in the actual like play style of a champion. So yeah, she's really cool. Really cool. Next up is Talon, who some would say is the tryhard, right? Is the assassin. Got to deal with that, I guess. I actually really like Talon's design. I think it's pretty cool. He is very edgy, right? But I also think his design is pretty cool. I think they did a really good job with the hood. And we're going to give him a pretty cool. Next up is Tarek. And after his rework, I think he's cooler than he used to be. But I still don't love Tarek's design. I think it's okay. I like that he's the guardian of life, love, and beauty. It's cool, right? But I don't know. I think we're just gonna put Tarek in kind of, sort of cool. Kind of, sort of cool. Just combine those two categories. Then we have Teemo. I think Teemo has some of the best skins in the game. I don't like base Teemo. I get it, and I get what they're going for. I don't think it's that great. I'm gonna put Teemo at the top of sorta cool. I'm sorry for everyone that loves Teemo. So sorry. I very much have a Yordle bias, and I'm not afraid of it. It just makes the Yordles that got up higher so much better. Thresh. Thresh is the chain warden, the custodian of countless arcane secrets. Thresh is amazing. I love his design so much. Really dang cool. And skins bring him up to super cool easily. Thresh is such a cool design. Such a cool design. Following Thresh is Tristana. If you remember what I just said about Yordles, I think Tristana is kind of just, hey, she's a Yordle with a big gun. And it may seem hypocritical that I went, hey, Poppy's a cool Yordle with a big hammer, but I don't think Tristana's a cool Yordle. I think Tristana's just a Yordle with a gun. Which, I mean, that idea is cool in and of itself, right? And the way that she can hop around with her gun is pretty cool. But we're just going to put Tristana in. After Tristana is Trundle. I hate going up against Trundle so much. But Trundle sells the idea of a troll really well. I think they did a good job with the Trundle rework when it comes to a troll. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty cool. He's kind of just the troll, you know, but pretty cool. After Trundle is Tryndamere. I'm tripping over my T's. Tryndamere, I think the idea of Tryndamere is pretty cool. I think Tryndamere's armor is not that great. He's the barbarian, right? He's the barbarian king. The helmet fits, the shoulder plate fits. I don't understand the green. I don't think the green. I mean, it matches his eyes, but it's an odd choice to me, especially when there are other characters from Freljord that don't have that green. They have like different colors. Um, I guess Sejuani has a little bit of the green, so it's like sure, it doesn't look bad. I just don't love it. So we're gonna put him in pretty cool. After Tryndamere is Twisted Fate. It could also just be that I'm tired of the idea of Barbarian King, Of, hey, here's the shirtless berserker Barbarian King. Here he goes. That's in every fantasy book. Not in every fantasy, but a lot. Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate is pretty dang cool. I think the idea of like, hey, I use cards to fight can be tired or can be really cool depending on how it's used. And I think it's used pretty well with Twisted Fate. I love his hat. I love the like nonchalance that he has when he walks around lane. I think his outfit is really cool, and the way it looks in game is really solid. And I love just the way that it all comes together. I think it's really, really cool. His skins make him much cooler, but he's still really dang cool. After Twisted Fate is Twitch. Twitch is a rat that uses poison. And hey, that's already pretty cool, right? I think that Twitch using a Kim powered crossbow, sneaking around in the dark, killing people, it's kind of cool. That's really cool. We may move Twitch up, but I think Twitch is really cool, and the way that he's just like when he does things, it's like, all right, I'm with you, Twitch. I'm with you. Following Twitch is Udyr. We're so close to the end now. I can taste it. I'm gonna go ahead and block this one and start another recording just to be safe in case the power goes out again. Udyr, the Spirit Walker. He's okay. Like, I get the idea of Udyr, and I think it's pretty cool. I think they did a really good job of showing like the different elements without just going, hey, let's use the 4 elements from Chinese mythology. They didn't just do that, which I think is really cool. Or from Japanese mythology as well, because they both kind of have that 4 element scheme going on. Instead, they went with a different set of like 5, which I think is really cool. I just don't necessarily love his design. I don't think it's terrible either. I think he's pretty cool, but that's about where I'm at with Udyr. He's fun to play, though. I think he's really fun to play. After Udyr is Urgot. Urgot is interesting. Urgot is like a mech man who has crazy, crazy cool abilities. And he has like, his ult is that he fires a drill that pulls you back so that you get fed into his buzzsaws. And I don't know if I need to repeat that sentence or if you understand when I put him in really dang cool, but that's where he's going. Following Urgot is Varus. I'm going to tell you right now, I know nothing about Varus before I click on his profile, other than just what he looks like. Arrow of Retribution, an Ancient Darken. He was a deadly killer who loved to torment his foes, driving them almost to insanity before delivering the killing arrow. Wow. All right. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's super mean, but kind of cool. I like his bow a lot. It looks really cool. I like the 2 scarves too, the twin scarf. That looks really cool. Yeah, I think we're going to put him in really cool. Nifty. Following Varus is Vayne. And Vayne, I think, is both cool and not cool at the same time. I think that her design is too much in some ways. Like, hey, there's all these spikes and all these harsh lines, and here we go, and she's got shades, but at the same time, she's pretty cool. The roll that she can do and the silver bolts, all of that is really nifty. The hand-mounted crossbow and then the larger crossbow, all of that is really cool. So it's a weird place for me with Vayne, but I'm going to put Vayne in Really cool. Following vein is Vigar or Vagar, depending on how you. Tiny Master of Evil. Vigar has accepted great power, and he's embraced powers that people would dare approach. Um, he is the best Yordle in this game, and he is incredible. I think he is one of the coolest champions in this game. Uh, he is the Black Mage, right, from Final Fantasy, except also he is the evil wizard. He is the wizard consumed by power, and he's so cool. I love him so much. Just the way that he goes, the magic, it calls to me. It's like, yeah, no, that's I love him. He's super cool. Vel'Koz is next, and Vel'Koz is Void Spawn and is really cool. He's the Eye of the Void. Uh his only goal is to like destroy stuff, but he's calculating about it. He thinks about it and comes up with plans. And then he fires a giant laser. Like, heck yeah, Vel'Koz. Heck yeah, Vel'Koz. Yeah, Vel'Koz is super cool. No way he's not. Following Vel'Koz is another champion whose name I can't remember. I'm waiting for it to load. Victor. Victor's pretty cool. He's the Machine Herald. He's got like this cool extra arm that fires a beam, which is really nice. I love his scarf. I love his armor. I love like the tabard front. Um, Victor's got the staff that he uses. He's pretty cool. I like Victor. Victor's really cool. Now we're gonna, maybe for the last time, take it back one more size. Next up is V or Vi. I'm actually not sure which. I don't play her very often, but I have friends who play. The Piltover Enforcer. She's pretty cool. I love the giant rocket fists. I love them, and the fact that they can propel her forward is really cool. I don't love the rest of her design. I think really it's the frill. I'm gonna bring it over here where you can see it. I think it's the frill right here on the side that I just don't love. But everything else about her is pretty cool. Love the goggles. So we're gonna put her in really cool, despite that. Next up is the champion that I think I hate laning against the most, and that's Vladimir. But I think Vladimir is actually pretty cool. I think a rework that changes his official art could maybe make him super cool. But the idea of a vampire that uses blood to attack as well, that drains his own health to do damage, is really cool. I think that is a really clever idea. And some of his skins are incredible. I love his coat. I love his clawed fingers. I love the sphere of blood with the trail that you can follow. I love the long sleeves. Vlad has a really cool outfit. We're gonna put him in really dang cool. I just really don't like going up against him at all. Because a good Vlad will ruin your day. Then we have Volibear. Volibear got a rework, visual rework, I think, not that long ago. And he looks pretty cool, honestly. There we go, got it pulled up now. The Relentless Storm, Volibear has like the runes that are arcing with electricity as well. His eyes have the electricity. His body. Oh, the green screen moved. How long ago did it move? Come on, green screen. Come on, work with me, buddy. It's gonna be one of those days. Okay. Um, really, really cool. All the arcing lightning is great. Um, he could have easily been just a bear, right? But instead, he's a really cool bear man with electric powers that gets huge and can jump into the air, which is really cool. So, really cool indeed. Warwick. Warwick is our next pull here. And Warwick, I think, automatically has to be. Oh, I see why. Zeke just left the room. He moved the green screen. Thanks, buddy. Warwick is automatically, in my opinion, really dang cool because he's a werewolf monster that has been transformed by experiments. He's fused with the like green alchemical material that also makes him go crazy and enrages him and makes him hunger. And I just think he's a really cool take on a werewolf idea. He's really dang cool. Following Warwick is Wukong. We're in the final stretch now, in the last run of champions. Wukong, I think, is pretty cool. I think they could have maybe done a little bit more with his kit to make him fit Sun Wukong or Monkey from Journey to the West. But at the same time, I think they did a pretty good job. I think his armor looks really cool. He definitely fits the spirit of Monkey, right? I think that his abilities are pretty cool. And the way that he moves around is kind of just like basic, hey, here we go. But at the same time, that's what Monkey does, you know? So I like it. I like him. I think he's pretty cool. We may even put him towards the top and pretty cool as well. But following Wukong is Zaya, I think is her name. I'll see in a second when this page finishes loading. It takes longer and longer every time. Yeah, Zaya. She is connected to Rakan, I believe. Think they're in love, I understand. Seems okay. Feather blades seem really strong. I like the long cloak made out of the feathers themselves. That's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, she seems pretty cool. Zareth is next, and he has the power of creation on his side. So, I mean, you know, he automatically is pretty great. But he is the power of creation given form, unleashed upon the world. The Magus Ascendant. He's an ascended magus of ancient Shurima, a being of arcane energy writhing in the broken shards of a magical sarcophagus. For millennia, he was trapped beneath the desert sands. But now he's free. And he is super cool. I love the idea of like, hey, I was trapped in my sarcophagus, but now it is the body that I will use because I have become the power of creation. That's super cool to me. I love that thematically. So good. Following Zareth is Xin Zhao. And Xin Zhao looks pretty cool. He definitely is like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Dynasty Warriors style design, right? Like that's what they're going for. That idealized version of ancient China. But I think they did a really good job. They capitalized on it really well. I think his armor looks great. I think his spear looks great with the banner on the end of it. I think they did a really, really good job. I love the long ponytail too that whirls around as he fights. I think they did a really good job with Zinja. We're gonna put him in really dang cool. Following Xin Zhao is Yasuo. Yasuo is the samurai, right? He is that archetype in a way that I think Master Yi could not be, which may sound really harsh. I actually really like his design. I can't stand going against Yasuo, but I really like his design. I think the sword is pretty cool. I think the shoulder pad is huge, but also doesn't arc back towards his head in a way that would hurt him. And is big enough that it would go over the top of his head if he had to raise his arm all the way, which is nice. I love the rope belt. I love the shoes. I love the bracers with the rope underneath Van Brace. I love the hair. I love the like cloak top. I think he looks really cool. I think they did a really good job with him. And the fact that he uses Yaijutsu, where like the sword is sheathed and then he draws it to do the attack, I think that's really cool. I think they did a really good job with Yasuo, time-wise. Following Yasuo is his brother, Yone. Yone, oh, we're so close to being done, man. We're so close. And this website is just not helping. Yone, the Unforgotten. In life, he was Yone, the half-brother of Yasuo, and renowned student at his village sword school. But upon his death at the hands of his brother, he found himself haunted by a malevolent entity of the spirit realm, was forced to slay it with his own blade. Yone is pretty cool design-wise. I also don't like going against Yone but I think the idea of the two swords, one sword that he had in life, one sword that he has in death, are really cool. I think the way that the creature that's haunting him like powers up his abilities is really cool. The way they work together is really interesting. I think Yone is a really dang cool design. Following Yone is Yorick, and I think that Yorick, before his visual rework and his I think in game rework too, was kind of rough. But afterwards, I think he's actually really cool. He's like the Gravedigger, but also he's got the Ghastly Paul of his own at this point. Um, he's the last survivor of a long forgotten religious order, blessed and cursed with the power over the dead. Like, pretty cool. And then the way that like his sprite is modeled, the way that he just stands there with his shovel in the ground, it's pretty cool. I think Yorick is pretty solid. I don't necessarily love playing as him. I think there's some good stuff to playing as him. I do think his W looks a little goofy. But I think he looks pretty cool. Really cool. Following Yorick is Yumi. Yumi is a cat that rides around on a book. And that's kind of cool, to be honest. I think that Yumi, design wise, is okay because she is just the cat on a book, with the magic swirling around her. But the idea that she was a familiar of a Yordle enchantress, and when her master disappeared, she decided to take the Book of Thresholds, try and find her. I think that's pretty cool. Yumi's abilities are really cool. The ability to just jump on people is really interesting, and to help them. Yeah, I think she's a really cool support. We're gonna put her in really cool. Following Yumi is Zack. Zack is flubber in some ways. He's like goo, a toxic spill that ran into a cavern and then became Zack. And I think that's pretty cool. I also love the fact that like Zack sheds pieces of himself while fighting, and then he can reabsorb them to restore health. It's just this idea of like, hey, yeah, he's goo. None of these individually are him. They all together are him. And so, or all of them individually are him as well. It's like, it's such a cool idea, right? So he's really dang cool. I like Zack. He also can like just jump in on you. It's pretty cool. Following Zack is Zed. Zed, I think he's kind of edgy like Talon, but I think he does it better with the helmet and the armor. I think they did a good job with his outfit. His in-game sprite looks pretty cool. I don't love the way he runs. I don't think that's super cool, but also the shadow abilities are pretty interesting. And his ultimate is really cool. So I think we're gonna give Zed a really cool. After him is Ziggs, which is another Yordle. But he is a bombastic, is maybe the way to put it, Yordle. He's the explosives expert. He loves bombs. He's kind of funny. We're gonna put him in. Pretty cool. Following him is Zillion. Zillion, like, really, really. Oh no. Oh no. We were doing so good. Just a little bit further. We're almost done. We're so close to being done. Zillion is the Chrono Keeper. He's like obsessed with time. And I found that kind of cool. I like the idea of a mage that becomes fully invested in their own studies to the exclusion of everything else, Um like Zillion didn't even care when his homeland was destroyed. He was so focused on like just trying to get magic to work, to control time. And he succeeds in a lot of ways. I think that design wise, he's not stellar. I think he's really cool, but he's not like stellar. But I still like him a lot. We're gonna put him in really cool. Following Zillion, we might move him up to really dang cool. mage that wants to control time that didn't even care when his own homeland was destroyed. That's really dang cool. Zoe, the aspect of Twilight, the embodiment of mischief, imagination, change. She's all right. I think that I think her design is cool, right? I think that they did a really good job with her. How do I put this? What is it that I dislike, right? Because I think they did a good job. Um, she's supposed to. I was gonna say she's too playful, but she's supposed to be, right? She's mischief, imagination, and change. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't find her super cool myself, but I get what they're going for, and I think they did a really good job. So we'll put her in pretty cool. And then finally we have Zyra, last champion on our list. We have made it to the end after like 2 hours. Um, Zyra is okay. She's a plant woman. I think she's fun to play, but I don't love her design at all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think she's kind of cool, and she can go in top of kind of cool, but that's about it. She's the plant woman, you know. Now let's rank them in the tiers. For uncool, I think Draven has to go at bottom of uncool, and Yi can go at top of uncool for his sword. For kind of cool, Alistair should probably go at the bottom. For sorta cool, why is Garen in sorta cool? I mean, I get that his design is not that great, but his ultimate's really cool. His spitting's really cool. Or Demacia is pretty cool. We're gonna move Garen up to cool. For sorta cool. Rakan's cooler than a lot of these. So is Diana. Eric too. Misfortune as well. Let's do that, yeah. For regular cool, I'm actually kind of happy. I kind of want to put Annie at like the bottom, but I'm kind of happy with this. Anivia can go down there too. Yeah, this is good. I like this. For pretty cool, I don't have a lot of strong feelings about who should go where. Talon could go higher. Riven can go higher. Lucian can go higher. Blanc can go higher. Ezreal can go lower. Wukong might take top spot. I think Lux's design is really good, but I do think Wukong's cooler. Brahm's mustache too, man. Bring Brahm up. Brand can drop some. That's pretty good. I like that. Cinder can come up a little bit. Got like gravity power. Those are pretty dope. All right, really cool. This one I'll have stronger opinions on. Garner's got to go up higher. Victor's got to go up higher. Twitch has got to go up higher. Shyvana's got to go up higher. Cassidon has to go up higher. Jin could probably go up higher. Rumble could be a little bit lower. Emi could be at the bottom. Poppy could be lower. Kale could be lower. Leona could be lower too. This run is really good. It's this run, I'm not sure. Oh, crud. We'll put Senna behind Singed. We'll move Caitlyn back too to down there. We'll move Mundo back, and we'll move Aurelia back. Karma can go back too. But I think this is pretty good. Jarvan can go back further too. I mean, he's really cool, but this is good. I like this. Really dang cool? Oh man, I got thoughts here. Okay. All right. Really dang cool. Who's got to be at the top of really dang cool? It might still be Mord, honestly. Like Mord might stay at top of really dang cool. And then Swain is really high up there. I think Sejuani gets to be number 3rd. Man. Zillion can stay at the bottom. Zillion's okay there. Pike has to be higher up. Thresh has to be higher up. Ekarim's in a pretty good spot. Karthus is in a pretty good spot. We might move Karthus up. Urgot I think could go lower. Urgot above Zach, maybe. Sion is really dang cool. Kennen could probably go lower. I like Kennen, but he could probably go lower. Kane could probably go a little bit lower. Put the brothers together. Important. Remove Bard back as well. There. Move Graves back as well to above Kane. Yeah, I'm pretty good with this. And then for super cool, I mean, Kindred's got to stay at the top, but Xerath has to move up. But who does he push back, man? This is tough. Camille could be bottom of super cool. Her leg blades are cool, but there are cooler people in here. I'm sorry, Camille. Xerath should be top. In fact, we might move Kog'Maw. I love Kog'Maw, but this is the top 5, I think. And maybe it's in this order. Vygar's super cool. Tom Kench is pretty cool. Nautilus is cool. Jax is cool. Malzahar is super cool. Let's do this. This. I love Alawi as well. There we go. All right. This is all the champions ranked as to how cool they are, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Set would probably be right here, maybe right here. Set would be super cool. Set would be above Alawi and Kalista, probably. He'd be right here. And Samira would probably be above Alawi. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that League of Legends has to offer.